Welcome to your channel, Judgment Point, the place we cut through the spin and take a hard look at the facts. Today, we're breaking down Donald Trump's first 100 days in office by the numbers. 100 days that felt, for many, like a lifetime. A period of unprecedented change, upheaval, and let's face it, chaos. We're diving deep into the data, examining the policies, and analyzing the impact of those early decisions that set the tone for what was to become one of the most consequential presidencies in modern history. From the moment he took the oath, President Trump moved with an urgency we hadn't seen in decades. He signed a record number of executive orders in his first 100 days, 30 in total, more than any president since World War II. These weren't just symbolic gestures either. They represented a radical shift in policy, impacting everything from immigration to healthcare to environmental regulations. But this flurry of activity also raised red flags. Critics argued that these sweeping orders, often drafted without input from experts or career government officials, bypassed the legislative process and concentrated power in the hands of the executive branch. This set the stage for a series of legal challenges and court battles that would come to define the Trump presidency. Despite the flurry of executive action, only one major piece of legislation was signed into law, a bill rolling back Obama-era regulations. The Republican-controlled Congress, despite campaigning on a promise of repealing and replacing Obamacare, found themselves deeply divided on the issue. This early failure to deliver on a signature campaign promise exposed the deep fissures within the Republican Party and foreshadowed the legislative gridlock that would characterize much of Trump's term. The inability to pass meaningful legislation further fueled the perception of a president more comfortable governing by executive fiat, further deepening the partisan divide in Washington. The U.S. economy added about 533,000 jobs during Trump's first 100 days, continuing the trend from the previous administration. This steady, if unspectacular growth, was touted by the White House as a sign that Trump's pro-business policies were working. However, economists cautioned against attributing too much credit to the new administration, pointing out that economic trends often take time to manifest. The debate over job creation highlighted a recurring theme of the Trump presidency, the challenge of separating fact from fiction, of distinguishing genuine economic progress from the president's often hyperbolic claims. Trump's approval rating hovered around 41% at the 100-day mark, the lowest of any modern president at this stage. The constant controversies, the chaotic staffing shakeups, and the aggressive, often divisive rhetoric had taken their toll. The country seemed more polarized than ever, with both supporters and detractors digging in their heels. The media landscape, already fractured, became even more partisan, with outlets like Fox News and MSNBC offering starkly different narratives of the Trump presidency. Key immigration moves included attempts to ban travel from several Muslim-majority countries, though these faced legal challenges. The travel ban, in particular, sparked chaos and confusion at airports across the country and ignited a fierce debate about religious freedom, national security, and the very definition of American values. Images of families being separated at airports and protesters rallying against the ban dominated the news cycle. The administration also doubled down on its promise to build a wall along the United States-Mexico border, a signature campaign promise that had energized Trump's base. The wall, however, remained a largely symbolic gesture, with funding and logistical challenges mounting. The stock market, often seen as a barometer of confidence in the economy, seemed to shrug off the political turmoil. The S&P 500, a key index of stock market performance, rose about 5% during the first 100 days. This bull market, fueled by corporate tax cuts and deregulation, benefited wealthy investors but did little to address the concerns of working-class Americans who felt left behind. The disconnect between Wall Street's exuberance and the anxieties of many ordinary Americans would become a defining characteristic of the Trump era. Trump faced delays in getting his cabinet confirmed, with several key positions still unfilled after 100 days. The confirmation hearings for nominees like Betsy DeVos for Education Secretary and Scott Pruitt for EPA Administrator were particularly contentious, highlighting the administration's unorthodox approach to governing. This revolving door of personnel would become a hallmark of the Trump administration, creating a sense of instability and raising questions about the qualifications and experience of those entrusted with leading key government agencies. That's a quick look at Trump's first 100 days in office by the numbers. 100 days that set in motion forces that would reshape the American political landscape for years to come. These early months were a period of intense activity marked by bold pronouncements, sweeping policy changes, and a level of controversy rarely seen in modern American politics. For more breakdowns and analysis of these pivotal moments and their lasting impact, don't forget to subscribe to Judgment Point.